Hey there, Marathon Millionaires. My name's Brett, and welcome back to my channel, Race to 1 Million. In today's video, we're going to be tracking my net worth for the first time since I launched this channel. To document my net worth from a negative amount to one of $1 million, I'm going to be posting a video on this channel at the end of each month, going over my budget for that month and seeing the change in net worth from the previous month. Since I launched this channel on my 31st birthday at the beginning of April 2021, today I'm going to be sharing my net worth as of March 31st, 2021 to serve as a starting point for the purposes of this channel. And speaking of this channel, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to the channel down below to see my struggles and my victories as I take my negative net worth and grow it to an eventual 1 million. So with all that out of the way, let's dive into those numbers. Okay, so taking a look at my net worth tracker that I've built in Excel, you can see that I've got my assets listed in the top half of the document, my debts or liabilities in the bottom half, and then a net worth total down at the bottom for each individual month as we move forward. So starting with March, since I did launch this channel at the beginning of April of 2021, all these numbers are as of March 31st to serve as a starting point for my net worth journey. Starting with my first asset, you can see I bought a house. I closed on this house about 6 months ago, and the number one takeaway from this is that I bought the house for about $4,500 less than it appraised for. So that was an immediate jump in net worth for me just by closing on the house. Next, I've got my emergency fund saved up. If you know anything about the Dave Ramsey baby steps, you can see that I've completed baby step number 1, saving a $1,000 emergency fund. And I am currently on baby step number 2 down here, trying to aggressively pay off all debts except for my mortgage. Next account you can see is my only retirement account that I have through my workplace. I started this job after I left teaching 18 months ago. So the employer offered a 4% 401k match once you've been employed for 6 months. Going ahead and trying to make the smart decision, I signed up for the 4% contribution myself on the second day of work so that I never saw that 4%, never got used to it in my paycheck. And, it was like it was just gone. I never really missed it. So for the last 12 months, my employer's been matching that 4%, and I've actually not kept track of this very often, so I'm pretty happy that this is almost up to $6,000, not thinking about anything and not missing the money from the paycheck. Okay, so moving on to my debts. Number 1 on this list is federal taxes. I owe federal taxes for the first time in my working life. 13 years of working, I've never owed federal taxes. So I did my taxes about 3 weeks ago, and this is the amount that I owe. I should have this paid off at the end of April, no problems whatsoever. This was a calculated decision for me, and I'm not suggesting that anyone else use this strategy unless it's something that you look into and make sure that it's right for you. When I bought my house back in November of 2021, I knew that I was going to have some moving expenses. I was going to have to buy refurbished appliances for the house. So I went ahead and tax exempted my federal withholdings from work, from my paychecks at work the last 2 months of that year, so November and December. This was a smart decision for me because the alternative was putting those expenses and those appliances on a credit card, moving into my house, letting it sit for a month, and then trying to pay it off the second month after I put it on there. So you're looking at a high interest rate just to try to finance a quick, couple grand in moving expenses and appliances. So I knew that I could pay this off really quick if I owe taxes next year, and I could do it before there was a penalty. So that's my plan. I'm going to get it taken care of as soon as I possibly can by the end of this month. Shouldn't have any trouble. So moving on to my student loans, I am still paying back my student loans, so I'll be looking for a future video covering my debt story when it comes to taking out student loans, trying to pay them off over the last 8 years, all my failures and what I did, what I procrastinated with, why I'm being so intense on paying them off now. But as you can see, I've got 3 different groups. They total about 15,500. So I'm hoping I can have that paid off in about 7 to 8 months after this IRS bill is paid. And lastly, you can see I'm not trying to aggressively pay this down yet until I build up my emergency fund after these debts are paid off first. But you can see, like I stated, I've only paid on my mortgage for 4 or 5 months now, and you can see that it's already a few $1,000s less than the house appraised for. So that really helped out this number at the bottom. As you can see, with all of my assets added together and subtracting all my debts, I'm at a negative net worth of $6,440.03. If I'm being honest, I really thought my official net worth would be way worse than that. I guess since I've been so focused on eliminating all of my debts lately, I never really thought about the different assets I have and the overall equity in my home that I just purchased. I guess that it really goes to show that just like budgeting your income and managing your expenses, if you aren't physically writing something down, there's no way to accurately keep track of it. Well, guys, I'm so glad we did this video today to really see what kind of shape we're in as we start this journey together. As always, like and subscribe down below to follow along as we continue on this race to 1 million.